reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM here in Accra. We are also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. We are on myjoyonline.com and affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Volta Premier in Ho, Bole FM, ATL FM in Cape Coast, and Radio Max in Takrady. We are live on X Spaces on YouTube and on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Coming up, mother who lost her daughter in yesterday's military recruitment exercise in Accra cries as families of the 6 victims grapple with grief and injuries sustained during the tragic incident. We'll be live at the 37 military hospital where 2 more potential recruits have been admitted, plus a look at the situation in other regional capitals where the exercise is continuing today. Also in this bulletin, government to seek over $1.4 billion in external debt restructuring relief next year as Ghana's bilateral debt repayment holiday is set to come to an end in May 2026. There'll be more as we hear expectations plus the claims by the minority that government has introduced 2 new taxes to the budget. Also in this bulletin, we'll be live in Parliament as the House sits to consider the nomination of Justice Bonny as Chief Justice. This is the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. We'll be back with the details.
My friend in Brasa, Uncle Jesse, Obe Manumua, Mochana, Uncle Nami Banita Mochi. What?
You heard a grieving mother, one of the 6 young Ghanaians who tragically lost their lives yesterday while seeking to enlist in the Ghana Armed Forces. The incident occurred during a stampede at the Elwak Sports Stadium, where the recruitment exercise was underway for the Greater Accra Zone. Heartbroken families are still struggling to come to terms with their loss. Among the victims was 22-year-old Priscilla Nyamalo, whose dream was to serve her country in uniform. We visited her home, where her grieving father and mother shared memories of a determined young woman who believed the military was her calling. Before we hear from him, though, let's take you to the 37 Military Hospital, where those who sustained injuries are receiving treatment. And Fatal Bayaga is on this beat for us. So, Fatal, let's start with those on admission. What's their current state of health? We just locked Fatal there, but then he's been speaking to some family members. Let's listen to them.
Sesia no on the otimi di moja ne ba fie ndra e ma me senka me ane ade ba me share condition na misru na npem de na ba ne nan esru nyina atwitwa ne mpabo e hye ne nyina teteye e ma socks e hye ne tete ma socks ne kan fifi ni pena ne hange ne nan etimi kura de na ne nan ne na ma adwen wo so se bia ne nan na epra e kobo be 6 no start se ne chest ene ne no fo ase ha omutietia ne sa no sesia mintimi hu se bona obo ho no mo no and affecting an answer will be netia, ne breast no infin say and any ha. Intimate naba, our horse is or more than to know.
It's really bad because I'm not near any Jew. Some sama me banner abejaness are there, cause minimis are all ban say neighbor busy. To say a man and more than no come, no untiming yafe. Say no, no, be an enemy dear, Necasana, my papa, or Casacrana is so, Necasana manoma. Or can't we no, I can't we, or can't we no, I can't we. Nti no onyanya ahoden a obetimi ede ehun se even ohun de esi yempo ohun de esi na se me amegina akora no ontumi nka nkere me se bia na ha anasa na ha ohun ba me nso mo de ade asese no kon ne nsa na ne nan nti no
be ma na oba so se mo pesa ban ye de
ye pesa ban ye no ene se o ma prepra no nyame ya adom no mo tom na so obesan e resume a ye be se onye omomwa se de be yo mo nsan kudi se gidigidi ni mu.
We heard there's some parents whose children are on admission at the 37 Military Hospital speaking to Fatal Bayaga, who thankfully is on the line with us. So Fatal, what exactly were these parents saying?
So basically, they were expressing concerns about the which happened yesterday. In fact, one of the women was virtually stricken by this particular situation because she said she got to the hospital this morning, but her child was not still responding well. Even communication was very difficult, and this is something that affects her so well. And she is calling on government to give priorities to such victims so that if the process begins again and they are well, they wouldn't go through that long process before they will be recruited into the military.
Okay, so how about those who are on admission currently? What's their state?
They are responding well to treatment according to the hospital officials. In fact, yesterday we were told that 5 persons were in the ICU, but this morning the officials told us that 2 have been relocated to a different part of the hospital. So that shows that they are giving critical attention to these persons, and they're saying that they are still treating the others, and maybe in the coming days they will.
So we also know that there were visits by some ministers of state. Who are those, and what message did they have for the injured persons?
Yes, so Hannah, one of the ministers who visited the hospital today is the minister in charge of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Na Momolate. In fact, one of the things that she spoke about was that the government should give, or going forward, they will give a special consideration to those who, or women should be given a special consideration as part of this process in order to avert some of these incidents. They said that women, in this instance, they don't have the strength to be able to push through. But if this special consideration is given to them, then they will be able to go through the process without facing some of these challenges. You can take a listen to it.
It is about time that every facet of our lives, we look at it from a gender perspective, or we put on a gender lens to view everything. you realize that most people were there, but the most affected sex is the female sex. And you ask yourself why. Because even though we are all human beings, our biological makeups are different. The way we do things are different. And in as much as we would want to say that everybody is the same, we want that gender consideration to be given to women where it matters most.
Well, let's now hear from the mother of Priscilla Nyamwalo, who recounts the moments that she learns of her daughter's passing.
Yay! Adiayami! Adiayami! Yay! Adiayami! Adiayami! I say, Mama, me do me phone. Who premier we sang coming? You see, oh, who do na mean to me? I say, oh, Mama, me be free. Your friend and I uncle. Your friend uncle. A woman a better home. And a boy be fire. Or beside me so free. And our bar a ho. It's Africa, swa. That's one of fear. And not see, oh. Ninjinasu. Ninjinaswa one casa. One casada. And I mean, before no two ho. Miss a friend one pa. The friend one pa. Actually, no. Miss a friend and no far. Of fire and no see. Or ya Obano or Yaru or da 37. Or da 37. This is. Edian I see here, or so me too or background who say I see Yati Anisu. Oi, Yati Anisu, and I'm missing ye. Yo, me ba says here. You have to be friend for now, be friend. My friend in Black, uncle, says, oh, Baumi Banumua, Mochana, Uncle, Nami Banita Mochi. Ah!
You heard the mother of one of the recruits, Priscilla Nyamwalo, recounting the moment she learned of her daughter's passing. Now, we know the Catholic Bishops' Conference have issued a release on this particular incident, and Joy News editor Fred Smith has the details. What are they saying, Fred?
Well, I read to you verbatim. It says, we, the members of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, gathered in plenary assembly in Damongo, have received with profound sorrow the heartbreaking news of the tragedy that occurred at the Elwak Stadium, Accra, during the recruitment exercise of the Ghana Armed Forces held on Wednesday, November 12, 2025. We unite with our hearts with the bereaved families in grief and lift our prayers to Almighty God for the eternal repose of the departed and the swift recovery of all who are injured. According to the Acting Minister of Defense, Dr. KCL Atoforsen, as of yesterday, 34 casualties were recorded, of whom 6 have been confirmed dead. 5 remain in critical condition in the intensive care unit. 12 are in fairly critical condition, while the remaining are stable and under observation. The Acting Minister further announced the institution of internal investigation into the tragic stampede that claimed these lives and injured several others. As shepherds of the church in Ghana, we stand in prayerful solidarity with the affected families who mourn, the wounded who struggle to heal, and all who have been shaken by this loss. We reaffirm our commitment to promoting systems that respect the sanctity of human life, foster accountability, curtail indiscipline, and advance the common good of our beloved country. May the Lord of mercy grant the rest to the departed, consolation to the affected, and wisdom to those entrusted with the nation's care. May justice and compassion guide our response and bring healing and peace to our land.
Thank you very much, Fred Smith. He brought us details of a statement released by the Catholic Bishops' Conference on this incident. So, following the disaster, what improvements have officials made to the exercise? Let's take you to some of the centers to find out. First, to the Ashanti region, where Nana Boachi Yadom joins us. What can you report, Nana?
Well, Hannah, this morning a lot of measures have been put in place by the Regional Coordinating Council to make sure that the recruitment process does not see any casualty this morning, just as was recorded yesterday. We have the National Ambulance Service telling us that in the Ashanti region alone, more than 20 casualties were recorded, with some these individuals who suffered injuries admitted at the Konfano Teaching Hospital. As I speak to you, NADMO is stationed here, National Security is here, the police reinforcement have come in, and the military is also making sure that the process is smooth.
Thank you very much, Nana Boachi Yadon from the Ashanti region. We go to the Cape Coast in the Central region where Abigail Esel joins us. Is there a sense of orderliness where you are, Abigail? We seem not to have Abigail, but we'll try to reconnect her. Let's take you to Parliament then, where the House is beginning today's activities with the consideration of the Appointments Committee report on the vetting of Justice Bafoboni as Chief Justice. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us from the House. And can we speak to Kweku? We will also try to get Kweku there. Let's move on to other stories, and when we get them, we'll try to go back. Now, almost 2 years after reaching an agreement with its official creditors under the G20 Common Framework, Ghana's bilateral debt service and holiday is expected to come to an end in May 2026. So, according to IMF data tracked by Joy News Research, the country is eyeing over $1.4 billion in external debt restructuring in the year, with huge commitments from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to close imposed restructuring gaps that may arise. We'll get more of this, but as the Finance Minister prepares to present the 2026 budget statement and economic policy to Parliament, some labour unions and industry groups have tasked the government with their expectations. First, let's hear from the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Their president is Dr. Joseph Obeng.
Tomorrow, the Finance Minister is going to yet read another budget, a budget that he has committed himself to in the past, that has started working, of course, in our favor, as you said. And so all that we need the Finance Minister to do this time around, to adopt measures that will sustain these gains that we are having and even further enhance it. We have the indicators that are very positive for businesses. The inflation have come down, and the exchange rate, as we are talking, is also come down. We have the stability of the cedi, all right. What we need is inflation should also commensurate with the interest rate. I think the interest rate is still higher, and that it should commensurate with the rate of inflation.
Well, for the Association of Ghana Industries, a total revision of the tax regime has to be looked at. Let's hear from their CEO, Seth Chum Akwabwa.
In addition to the VAT reform that we've seen, the general tax levels have to be looked at. The assessment tax area handles that. We think that we need a review of it. I'll give you maybe one or two examples. In the fruit juice industry in 2023, government introduced what they call the sweetened beverage tax. And they didn't exempt the local producers of fruit juices. So they were paying 5%. Now it's been jumped to 20%. It's making most of them uncompetitive. In Nigeria, similar tax is 2.4%. So you see a lot of influx of these products coming into the Ghanaian market and affecting our product capacity, production capacity. So it is the VAT reforms is important, but we think that generally speaking, the whole tax regime also have to be looked at. And we are expecting that in this budget, there will be some improvement in this area.
So let's hear from the Association of Banks, and their CEO is John Ewa.
The 2025 budget, you sort of have an idea where the broad policy shift is towards. What has been some of the big themes for you going into tomorrow? What are you expecting to hear?
We're expecting to see more of what we've seen this year. We expect that the level of fiscal discipline that we've witnessed will be continued. Obviously, we'll find a lot more of government programs finding its way in the 2026 budget. The kind of discipline in expenditure management in particular, being drawn from the amendment to the PFM Act, which means that now you cannot just commit government. You need some authorization from the finance minister to be able to do that.
Well, some public sector workers are also saying that government's 9% salary increase under the single spine salary structure for the 2026 fiscal year is not enough for them. Let's hear from some teachers.
If we still have that chance, the 9% increase increment on base pay, if possible, should be reconsidered. If we can get something around 30%, we'll be fine.
Okay. They should get down to the schools, they should get down to the various public sector workplaces and see the conditions under which the workers work. And then look at do proper calculation of the components that the worker services will need within a particular month to be able to know what actually will make the worker happy. So basically, I will not be surprised if in the coming days, early next year or mid next year, workers start agitating for COLA, because definitely the 9% salary adjustments will not promote any any to productivity that will impact the economy. Well, if the person is not satisfied, it's not going to meet his or her basic needs. Definitely, when you go to workplace, you'll be thinking you cannot deliver.
Well, as we told you earlier, the Joy News research team has been digging deep, trying to paint a picture of the country's external debt servicing hurdle in 2026 as the finance minister readies to present the budget. And head of our research desk, Isaac Kofi AJ, is here. What exactly will this relief come from? Tell us more about that.
Well, Hannah, debt servicing relief is very important. This year, we enjoyed $2.8 billion in debt servicing relief from our external debt, servicing. Next year, we are seeking to have about $1.5 billion in debt servicing relief, and this is very important. If you look at the kind of moratorium we are enjoying, especially from our bilateral creditors, that is expected to end somewhere May 2026, and so debt servicing payment is very important next year. And in fact, looking at the sources of this $1.5 billion, an amount of $604 million is expected to come from official creditors, $877 million coming from commercial creditors. And even after this debt servicing, relief that we'll get, we are still expecting that some $847 million will still be existing as post-restructuring financing gap.
Great. Kofi has given us that, but we know there could be some huge external financing gap, just as you said.
Yeah.
How will this 2026 budget close that?
In fact, we are banging our hopes on IMF. IMF is expected to give us $360 million next year. World Bank $487 million, and so these two, multilateral partners are expected to take a big part of the financing gap that will still remain even after the restructuring relief that we'll get next year.
Head of our research desk, Kofi AJ, there. Before we move from the story, let's hear from the minority, which is claiming that government will most likely introduce 2 new taxes. Kojo Ponkroma speaks about it.
When a tax is introduced with a medium-term focus, there's a sunset clause on it, and it's not expected to be extended. So when a government inherits a tax that says that this is a medium-term measure, it is supposed to die by 2025 December. It's a medium-term measure. When that government wants to be honest with you, we should tell you that we want to, maybe in the medium term, bring this tax back or keep this tax. Candor is important. It goes to the root of budget credibility and fiscal credibility. So don't tell us that I haven't introduced a new tax, when indeed what you have done is that you have picked a particular medium-term revenue measure that had died, and you've reintroduced it for another medium term. Be honest with it. And I'm telling you that there are 2 of them that have been introduced. And the way
one
they
is
did
the
it,
growth and sustainability.
yes, and then the other one is a special import levy.
Okay.
And Parliament has passed both. So it will start from January 2026. If you don't know, you may think that there are no new taxes, but there are 2 of them.
Well, that's where we take a break on the Midday News. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in the world of sports and more news from across the country.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Yeah, welcome back to the Midday News, and it's time for sports.
Hannah, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, says fans who wish to attend the 2026 World Cup will have to do so at their own expense. He explained that there are no government plans to sponsor supporters for next year's global tournament in the US, Canada, and Mexico.
Well, I don't think that it is something I'll recommend. We are in a period that we are in austere situation. We
are in a period of austerity and we need money to build sports infrastructure. Then we are going to spend money to transport supporters all the way to America. That money could build 5 multipurpose centers in some communities. Anybody who wants to go can mobilize their own resources. We can facilitate travel documents and they can go. Alternatively, we should mobilize support from the corporate sector to assist the fans.
Possibly both private and public, and give support to the fans.
That's the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams. Back to you, Hannah.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Kumasi, where the Republican Bank Love FM Habitat Fair is happening. If you wish to build your home or commercial facility accessorized with durable and affordable glass materials, then you must visit the Prestodia glass stands at the fair. This company is ready to display up to 20% discounts on modern glass windows and also others at the fair in Kumasi. Let's hear more from them.
You are welcome to Prestodia Ghana Limited. This is where all our exhibitions are displayed. This is the showroom. Actually, we handle both domestic and then commercial projects. Okay. So we do handle homes and then estate buildings and all that. We are able to also handle an airport. We can do the balustrade work and then glass works over there.
You've shown us a lot of beautiful items you're having here, but some people want to know what is the cost involved, and in fact, what are you bringing to the Habitat Fair this year? At
the Habitat Fair, we are coming with all our exhibitions to display there for a variety of choice reasons. Yeah. Our work is quality oriented. We don't leave any small work or big work compromise with quality.
Now, all you'll have to do is visit the Prestodia glass stands at the Kumasi City Mall during the Republic Bank Love FM Habitat Fair that's happening from the 27th to the 30th of November 2025. And that's it for the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. Thanks so much for choosing Joy News. We are independent, fearless, and credible. Pastor Mensa Otabil comes up next. But before then, you can log on to myjoyonline.com where there's more news.